The convention centre has suffered both liquefaction damage and lateral spread. The side of the convention centre which is nearest to Peterborough Street is the one which has suffered most of the liquefaction damage. The side which is on Kilmore Street is around about 100 millimetres towards the river. It's not safe for people to enter the convention centre to do full assessments. Our engineers are recommending its demolition. We are currently discussing with our insurers a way towards a shared outcome on that matter, and we hope to have further information in that regard in the next couple of months. Are there any questions on the convention centre?
What's a shared outcome?
That's where they do what we want.
That's where they give you the money that you want?
Thank you. We have a point of view. They are clearly in the hands of their loss adjusters. At that point you have a negotiation, and at the end of it, if they believe it is cheaper or practical to repair and we don't, we will continue to undertake negotiations.
Your best advice is demo? And
yes, our best advice is demo. So we're in discussion with our insurers on that one.
Okay. How much money is the city going to lose out on because we won't have events coming to the convention centre?
I don't know.
Do you know how much money the convention centre brings in each year?
Not off the top of my head. I can get those numbers for you.
Do you know how much the insurance on the AMI stadium covers? Was it full replacement?
Yes, it's full replacement. And the insurance was current at June 13. If I could perhaps move on to the Town Hall. Yep. The Town Hall is a Group 1 listed heritage building, and that's quite different from AMI Stadium or the Convention Centre. It's in effectively 4 blocks. You have the auditorium and the other 2 sections which are closest to Kilmore Street, and down fronting the river is the block which concludes with the Boaters Restaurant Complex, the one which you can see from Victoria Square. The whole site has suffered considerable liquefaction. The basement of the auditorium, where all of the nicely remodelled electrical equipment and such is full of sand and water. The Boaters Restaurant Complex has detached a little bit from the balance of the building, and it has moved slightly further towards the river because the whole site has suffered quite badly from lateral spread. As yet we do not know if there is a repair or remediation available to us, but if there were to be, it would involve remedying the lateral spread, potentially with use of dams, such as were proposed around Avonside, Kaiapoi in the earlier EQC discussions, and then we have to see what we can do about upgrading the building, which is an older building and so not designed for the modern building code. Parts of the building are more damaged than others. One of the considerations for the council is going to be, if it is able to be repaired, because it is a listed heritage building, to what extent are we going to ruin the heritage fabric which is within the building? That is going to be a complex discussion, and it is one where we're likely to see more reports due out by the end of this year, but it is probably unlikely that we'll have a full and final decision on the Town Hall for you by the end of this year.
Any idea on what that would cost to do all that?
No, and that's the same problem that we have with AMI and why we can't give you a final outcome today. We're still exploring the practicality of the various remediation options. Each of them comes with a different price tag. So until we establish whether they're plausible and then whether they're prudent, we don't know what those costs are. And it may be that the costs of some of them, coupled with the fact that reinsurance may or may not be practical if we choose to go down that path, is outweighed by another solution.
Can you give sort of a ballpark of the cost of that? What sort of figures are we talking about?
No, I really can't, because we've explored 4 options. For example, if I go back to the Paul Kelly stand, we've explored 4 options, and the one that we've been looking at just of late involves 25-metre piles going down to the Riccarton gravels. They are solid ground, 25 metres down, to penetrate the liquefiable soils. That's a big cost option, and at that point when you start thinking about that cost, coupled with the damage to the stands, you start thinking, well, is it affordable? And that's exactly the kind of conversation we're going to have with our insurer.
So how close is it with the Town Hall to that being demolished?
Oh, that's far too early to say. And I wouldn't go down that path yet. When you think about the form of the building, it's in 4 blocks. It may well be that there are remediation options available through boaters, for example, which deal with some of the lateral spreading issues. If you can deal with them, that's the same lateral spreading that's affecting the convention centre. So that's in itself a big discussion about the future of that whole of the precinct through there.
So saving some of it would be preferable to demolishing everything, so is that the council's view?
The council hasn't formed a view on that yet, because one of the things we're going to have to consider is if in saving it you ruin it, if you have to strengthen it to meet modern building code by doing horrible things to the building, what have you saved? And that's one of the issues that we're going to have to consider.
Which you don't have with the convention centre because it's a new building, and if it needs to go, it needs to go, and we move on.
Regrettably, yes.
So you said the town hall and boaters have, so to speak, moved apart a bit. How big's the cavity or gap between them?
Alan Ray, who's standing behind me, will I think confirm, you said 100 millimetres?
What's that for?
The gap between the Cambridge Limes Room balance of the town hall, was it 100 millimetres?
Yes, it was. That was what Homes Consultant said this morning.
Yep. So about 4 inches.
Can I just go back to the convention centre for a second? Is there any possibility of short-term, medium-term alternative option? Temporary?
Convention centre. There are a variety of facilities around the city at the moment which are fulfilling that purpose, and again that is one of the things, because of the financial benefit to the city of the convention centre, we have worked very hard to see if there is a solution on it.
Is the likely loss of the convention centre addressed at all in the central city plan?
You'll have to wait and see, Sam. Nice try though.